Good morning, students. Welcome to online class. Today we are going to see an interesting topic from geography, that is the motions of the earth. Let me see the learning objectives. What are all the topics we are going to see in this lesson? Rotation, revolution, seasons, solstices and equinoxes. So let me see one by one. Here in this picture we see the earth spins on its own axis. Here see the rotation. Here the earth spins on its own axis. You just note this picture ma. At the same time it also moves around the sun. What it's doing? It moves around the sun along with the 7 other planets. These two movements of the earth are known as rotation and revolution. So once the earth spins on its own axis and also it's move around the sun. So the spinning of the earth on its axis from west to east. Actually the rotation happening like this, that is west to east, is known as rotation. Actually the earth takes 24 hours, that is one day, to complete one rotation. Here we are seeing no rotation. So what is the actual time it takes? 24 hours, that is one day. So some of the main results of rotation are the occurrence of day and night. Here we see the rotation, it's occurrence of the day and night. When the sun phases, so we feel daytime. It's away from the sun, we feel night time. See here actually, during the course of its rotation, the side of the earth that faces the sun. See here the side of this earth. It faces the sun. Here see the light rays coming from the sun. Actually it experiences day. And the side that faces away, this side, it experiences night. So the two sides are separated by an imaginary line. See here, these two sides are separated by an imaginary line that turns vertically across the globe, known as circle of illumination. What is this? Circle of illumination. That is, it's separated with that imaginary line. Okay. So the varying lengths of day and night we see means, if the earth axis was perpendicular to its orbit, so all parts of the globe would have equally long days and nights all times of the year. But however, since the axis is tilted, the lengths of the day and night across the world vary. The circle of illumination cuts the equator exactly in half, while the North Pole lies completely in darkness and the South Pole in light. Let me see in the picture. So while places along the equator, here we see the equator, places along the equator receive equal darkness and hours of days and nights all year long. Places along the higher latitudes So these are all the lines we say, imaginary lines, that is latitudes. Experiences longer days and shorter nights in summertime, and shorter days and longer nights in winter. At the poles, here we can say this one the North Pole, and here it is the South Pole. So at the poles there are 6 months of continuous daylight in summer and 6 months of continuous darkness in winter. Is it clear for you? Let me see about the revolution. So the movement of the earth. Here you are seeing in the picture the movement of the earth around the sun along its orbit is called revolution. So the orbit is the elliptical path. So what is the shape of this path? Elliptical, isn't it? Which the earth takes around the sun. So actually the earth takes 365 days and 6 hours to complete one revolution. So for rotation visa it takes 1 day, that is 24 hours. Meanwhile the earth takes for revolution how many days? 365 days and 6 hours to complete one revolution. So this constitutes a year. Actually, the 1/4 day is ordered up and added to every 4th year to the month of February as an extra day. If you know the multiplication, it's very easy to calculate for us. So for the every year, the 6 hours added means at the end of the 4th year, it will be 24 hours. So 4 into 6, 24 hours. That is 1 day we'll calculate. That only added with the month of the February as an extra day. So such years are known as leap years. Actually the leap years does have 366 days, we know, with the February having 29 days. So the main result of revolution is the occurrence of seasons. So the result of rotation occurs day and night, and the revolution occurs of season. Let you know the difference, children, among the rotation and revolution. Okay. Let me see about the seasons, solstices and equinoxes. So because of the tilt of the earth's axis, different parts of the earth faces the sun during one revolution, and therefore they receive different amounts of heat. See, each time whenever it's facing the sun, it just receives the different amounts of heat in the course of a year. This causes season. So actually we know what are the 4 main seasons, that is summer, winter, autumn and spring. So in the course of 1 year, the sun rays fall directly over the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn and over the equator on certain fixed days. So these days are, we can say, as solstice and the equinox respectively. So the sun rays actually falls directly over the tropics of Cancer means we can say it's solstice. And directly when it falls over the Capricorn, we can say equinox. So in a year we experience 2 equinoxes and 2 solstices. Let me see about the summer solstice. So between June and August. So practically we feel now we are in the month of June. So the northern hemisphere, here we are seeing, see, the northern hemisphere remains tilted towards the sun. So here it's the northern hemisphere, it's the southern hemisphere. So actually in the month of, that is June and August, the northern hemisphere remains tilted towards the sun. At this time, it receives more heat than the southern hemisphere. So comparing with the southern hemisphere, northern hemisphere will get more heat and thus experiences summer. So during this month, the days are long. So actually summer season we feel the longer days and the shorter nights, isn't it? So that things only happening in the northern hemisphere. So the longest day occurs on 21st June when the sun shines directly over the Tropic of Cancer. This day is known as the summer solstice. While it is summer in the northern hemisphere, as we said, the southern hemisphere experiences winter with the short days and long nights. So spring and autumn twice every year. So about the equinox we see means once during the sun's apparent journey towards the Tropic of Cancer and once on its way back towards the Tropic of Capricorn. The sun shines directly over the equator. So what happening on these days? Neither the North Pole nor the South Pole is tilted towards the sun, and the whole world gets equal hours of day and night. So that thing only happen when the sun shines directly over the equator. So there are equal hours of day and night we feel. That's called equinoxes. And these two dates, that is 21st March and 23rd September, are known as equinoxes. That is, we'll have equal nights. And 21st March is known as spring equinox. So here we see 21st March. We can say spring equinox as it is spring in the northern hemisphere in the March. And 23rd September can say autumnal equinox as it is autumn in the northern hemisphere in the month of September. So winter solstice refers that it is in the month of December and February. The southern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. So it receives more heat comparing with the northern hemisphere and thus experiences summer with longer days and the shorter nights. So the longest day is on 22nd December when the sun shines directly over the Tropic of Capricorn. So actually this day we can say as winter solstice. It is winter in the northern hemisphere at this time with we feel the short days and the long nights. Here we see in the northern hemisphere we feel short days and long nights. With this picture it will be very clear for you, isn't it? So in southern hemisphere we see means longer day with shorter nights. Thank you children. I will meet in the next class.